Here we go.
Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
Yo, Tape 5 Pod. We here. We got a couple faces on, and we got our guest Dylan down there for this episode 15. We're going to be talking a little bit about baseball, of course, with him. And we're going to be talking about some of this NBA free agency because it's free agency Friday right now. So we're going to see, who's going where, who we think is going to go and land on what team. It's going to be good. So let's start it up. Go ahead, Ian.
All right, Dylan, we just got a few quick questions. So for the viewers who don't know, this is Dylan Campbell, starting right field for the Texas Longhorns. I just got a few questions here. So we saw that you had that 36-game hitting streak. What was your mindset throughout that hitting streak? Like, did you face like how did you approach each at bat? Like, what was different?
Yeah, I would say my mindset was pretty much the same as if I wasn't even on a hit streak. Like, just going into each and every game, like with that same mentality. Basically, like I'm just gonna do me, and it's all gonna happen out for itself. I would say going into each and every game, like I expect to get a hit, so nothing really changed for me there, and I kind of just did my thing throughout the whole thing.
Was there like a favorite like at bat you had, or like favorite game, favorite moment you had during that hitting streak?
I don't know. There are probably a few because it came. I know it came down to the last at bat of the game a few times. There was like a stretch of probably like 4 or 5 games where it came down to the last at bat. So I'd say those for sure. But
was it always like in the back of your head?
Not really. No, I'd say I just playing the game, see how it went. But probably the first inning against Kansas, like when I broke the school record. That was probably my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we saw that y'all won the Big 12 this year. Congrats to y'all for that. Is there anything else you want to accomplish while you're still at Texas?
Well, obviously, it would have been nice to go to Omaha again and win the national championship. So we'll see if we can do that here in the future. But that's probably the main goal. I'd say that's probably the goal for everybody is just to get to Omaha and win a national championship or to compete for a national championship. But I think playing at Texas, you get to experience that every single year that you come into the program because the standards that they've set in the past have been so high. So you kind of just got to follow that each and every year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I got some questions about the MLB. You've been keeping up with the MLB at all?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
All right. So going into like the second half of the season, like with the All-Star break coming up, you got like any teams that you think might like make a run at the World Series that are like kind of like mid right now, like might like have a hot season in the second half?
Yeah, well, being from Houston, I can't ever count out the Astros. I mean, I know the the Rangers are up in the division right now. I think they're up a few games, but all those guys have been in the postseason. They got that experience. So I mean, all it takes is to get hot a little bit at the end and just make it to the postseason, and you can't count them out. Because they have pitching, and that's one thing that you need. I know the back end of their bullpen has been pretty shaky here in the last few weeks, but their starting pitching is pretty solid, so that can carry you a long way.
No, yeah, I definitely thought y'all would y'all be the favorites going into this year. So I definitely do think y'all have a chance at competing for the championship.
Yeah, I think they were the favorites to start the year and to win the division. Like pretty heavily favored to win the division. But the Rangers they've been pretty hot. So yes, we'll see.
Who's in your division? Is it the Rangers and Angels, or is it just
Rangers? Yeah, Rangers, Angels, Mariners, Astros, I believe.
Dang, that's a stack division.
Yeah, it's a good division. So
yeah, we'll see.
And the Angels are right there too. I think they have the same record as the Astros, so it's pretty tight right now. But
no, yeah, the Angels are really good this year.
Still got a long way to go.
I think that's it for the.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah, it's a question about your season. So It's more of a personal question on mine. I was at the game when y'all came to Miami.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
yeah. How did it feel to come to Coral Gables and defeat the team? Were y'all favored in that? I think we were favored, right? Like,
No, yeah, Miami was definitely favored.
yeah, because we were supposed to, every year we're supposed to go to the dance, and we never do. But like coming into it, were you guys expecting us to fold the way we did, or what was your team's mentality coming in?
I mean, we knew what we were coming there for, and we weren't going to leave without coming on top, and that was just our mindset going in. I mean, we knew they were a good team, and like had a good season. They were kind of hot going into the tournament, but we also believed in ourselves, and we had good starting pitching coming into the regional, and then we had some guys who stepped up big for us. Like we had like a freshman, Jalen Flores. He hit that home run. I don't know if you might have been at the second game.
I
Um,
was at
I think you
Yeah, I
were there
think
the
I was at
second
the
time we
second.
played them, but the first time we played them, it was 4-1, like closer game, and then the second time we had that big inning because I remember they jumped out early to a lead. It was like I think they jumped out with a 3-run home run, and then we came back and put up like a 9 spot,
Yeah,
and then they really couldn't do anything.
I had to go home honestly. Like,
But no, we came in. We came in to win the thing, and we knew we were going to.
gotcha.
All right. Dylan, we appreciate you being on the show, man. We're gonna switch some gears here, talk a little bit about NBA basketball. I hear you keep up with that as well. All
Oh
right.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
we want to know where your loyalties lie. So you mentioned you're from Houston. Are you a Houston fan?
That's a tough question. I gotta
That's
say yes.
crazy.
I gotta say yes. It has been rough over the past couple years. Um, Obviously, ever since Harden and CP3 left, now we're out here looking like a high school AAU team with all these superstars around, but no chemistry. So
Yeah.
um, I'm thinking this next year they had a pretty good draft, I'd say. And obviously with the new coach coming in, I think he was with the Celtics previously. Obviously he had all that nonsense going with him, but I
Some
think he'll,
issues.
he'll huh?
Yeah, some issues. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a few issues, but I think he can come in, shape the culture. He coached some superstars with Tatum and Jalen Brown, so I think he'll come in
Okay.
and shift the culture a little bit, get him more professional.
Yeah. Okay. So what's a successful season look like for the Houston Rockets this year?
I mean, I don't really expect him to make the playoffs yet. I think it's too early, but I mean,
Okay.
it's just hard. I think they can make the play in. I think they can make the play in.
That's what I
Okay.
was saying. That's
I
what I
think
was.
they can make the play in, but I don't think they'll make it out.
Yeah.
Do you expect any like free agents to go to Houston? Like any big signings or big splashes this offseason?
I honestly don't think so.
No,
Not even Harden.
no.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Maybe
Yeah,
like
I don't.
he would probably be the only person that I could see going there, but nobody else. Just because he's played there in the past. But I don't think Houston. They don't seem like a real attractive market um, in terms of
Yeah,
just
not now.
winning.
That's true. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of different rumors surrounding Houston. Kyrie is meeting with y'all today.
Hmm.
I heard Fred Van Vliet, might make a case, might be able to help
No.
the culture move along a little bit there. I don't know. I don't know. So is Houston your number one team? That's who you ride with.
Yeah, yeah, that's who I'm riding with.
Okay. Okay. I Houston, like you said, they have a bunch of young guys, a lot of talent. They can all do so many different things. I think it's definitely about carving out that culture, finding out who's your core pieces that you want to ride with. And then honestly, I don't see it being more than 2 to 3 years, right, before they make that play in spot and actually compete, depending on the pieces that they get and that sort of thing. But I don't know. Who would you give up though? Is my question. Like, who do you believe your core is?
I mean, you got to start with Jalen Green, obviously, and just kind of build around him. Um, I mean, it's not much. They got rid of Eric Gordon, right? Because he was like kind of the old head in the
Yeah,
room.
Yeah,
They
he's
got rid of
yeah,
him. Man, it's
right.
just these young guys are gonna have to grow up, honestly, and
That's
just get
true.
more experience, more playing time together. And then I feel like the more that they can kind of get some chemistry and get some experience, they'll really be good with KPJ and them.
Very true. All true. So free agency Friday. We're all waiting, 6 p.m. to see if any big splashes are made, anything of that nature. There's a lot of different things that could happen around the league. So we got free agents, Kyrie. We got James Harden, who's looking for a trade from the Sixers. I mentioned Fred VanVleet earlier. We have Brooke Lopez. I don't think the Chris Middleton situation settled either. Who Name one person that you're looking to see make a real impact? We already saw Beal to the Sun, so he doesn't count. But name one person that you think is going somewhere else.
I would say
Should
we
have
got
a
to keep
list
our
of
eyes
all
on.
these guys.
Yeah, we got to keep
Go
our
ahead.
eyes on Draymond Green. I mean, obviously he's kind of regressed as the player that he is, but I mean he's been there. He's been in the big games, been in the finals, won some championships. Obviously the Warriors are going to try to get him back, but if they don't, I feel like whatever team can get him, um, just kind of gets that rock that they need. Because I'm sure he'll probably go to a team that's. I couldn't see him going to a super team, like because they're not really
Yeah,
going to waste that money on him. But that's just my thought on it.
it's a hot take. What do y'all think?
I don't think Draymond's gonna leave. Like, well, if the Warriors disrespect him, he might, but I don't think they will. Like, I feel like they value him a lot, and I don't think they're gonna let him slip. Honestly,
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think I saw because I saw Dre. He was with Clay and Steph just like I think yesterday.
yesterday,
They
Yeah,
were
he was
golfing.
on the
Like,
golf course.
Playing
Yeah,
golf.
yeah, I
he's
saw
with
There
that.
you
them,
go.
bro. Like he
Yeah,
signed with them. Let's just be honest. I really wish like he came to the Sixers and we got rid of Tobias
what?
because he's a
Tobias,
way better player than Tobias Harris.
Did
And he's
Tobias Harris
yes.
say
I
on
mean,
defense
he's
or
better.
something?
Like
No, he's
as
better
a
than
fit,
Tobias. Like,
as a
he's
fit.
better than Tobias Harris. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
At
as
what?
a
At basketball, like
yeah
you
basketball.
don't have to break it down into segments. Like
he's
he's a
just
better
better at
player.
Yeah,
basketball.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm not knowing, but
But yeah, I just wish Draymond would come to the Sixers, but I think that's very unlikely because we'd have to ship out so many people. But yeah, I think he does stay with the Warriors.
Yeah.
but your take is just purely speculation. That's all speculation. Like we saw it with LeBron at the dinner table with Savannah James. A big bottle of Lobos. They're all there. Like that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that he's coming to the LA Lakers. You know what I
I
mean? So
guess.
I'll agree with y'all though. I definitely believe he stayed with Steph and them. We saw that where they let Jordan Poole go for a bag of chips. Basically, they let him go. I think to appease Draymond Green and to make that salary room so that all works out and they could put a ribbon on that. But talking about the Warriors a little bit though, I asked Dylan, what did you think about Chris Paul going and joining that team?
I don't really know what to think about that, honestly. I mean, they're already in contention every single year, and Chris Paul's kind of bounced around, like with the Suns last year, but he ever since he left Houston, he hasn't really been the same in my eyes, honestly.
I could second that. Yeah, for sure. I think definitely.
Eh,
But I will say since he left Houston though, he's always had to play a starting point guard position. You know what I mean? Like Houston, they had James Harden there. He did a lot of ball handling, really took a lot of pressure off of Chris Paul. Chris Paul is really having to become that primary guy that he was with the Clippers, with the the Hornets or whatever. I think coming off the bench, it's like Julia, fix your face though. Coming off the bench,
I just
like,
want to see where you're taking this. Like, I just
coming
want to
off
know
the
where you're
bench.
taking this. Like,
I'm just saying, coming off the bench, backing up a point guard like Steph, I think he can, fulfill that role of a 6th, 7th man. That's all he
So
has to do.
do you think that Chris Paul is going to stay with the Warriors? Like, you think that?
Well, I mean, what I've been hearing, he contacted Steph. They talked about playing with each other. He said he told the media, he's just looking forward to helping this team out, all the right things. Like I don't know.
That's
Y'all
very
saw
interesting.
Draymond though. Y'all saw what Draymond
You know where
said.
he said he didn't like him?
Yeah,
I mean,
that was years ago though. Like I
Yeah.
feel like
that was years ago.
Yes, that was years ago.
Yeah, that was years ago. Like that was like I think that was.
I thought that was on the pod.
A year ago. Or a year ago.
Nah.
Then, like, that was a while ago. Like not just now. Like that would be insane. You think that he came out and said that like last week? Like no.
Yeah, for real.
Clay did. No, Clay said something like crazy. He said like, I think he said it was weird or something like the fit was weird, which it kind of is. But
in
like,
so many words,
But like, I forgot to bring this up last pod. Like they had, remember when in 2016 when they had Sean Livingston, like he was that guard off the bench that gave him. What do you mean, Joanne? When he gave him that extra push.
I think that Sean Livingston might actually be more of a. He might be actually better than Chris Paul right now. Sean Livingston then was a. It's not crazy. Like,
this dude averaged 9 assists last year.
Bro, Chris Paul's not going to play that many minutes because he can't play with Steph. He can't play on the court at Steph at the same time.
Yes, he can.
They can't play. They're too little. Dude, they're tiny, and both can't play defense. How are
the
they
reason they got
Chris
Paul? The reason they got Chris Paul is so they can run more pick and roll, like in the playoffs, especially. Like the Lakers took away the pick and roll with Steph Curry every play.
Bro, how many minutes is Chris Paul going to get on that team? Because Steph's playing
15 to 20.
Steph's playing 38. Steph's playing 38 minutes. So they're going to have to play together for, you say 10 minutes a game? 8 to 10? That's not
so he'll get like
they're going to get blasted. They can't guard. They're too small.
That's true. They are small.
I don't think
at
the
the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
they're definitely gonna have to stagger.
They're gonna trade it.
But we do have to understand Steph Curry is a bona fide shooting guard in this league. Like, he could play the two if he has to.
Yes.
Like, and Clay can guard them 3 easily, easily.
But they can't guard the 1 or the 2 though, so it doesn't matter. Like
most teams in the NBA can't guard the 1 or the 2, dude. Like that's just a known fact. What 1 or 2 guard is really good at defense? Except like 2. Marcus Smart maybe.
Bro, there's a lot of capable defending 1 or 2s. Like, what are we doing?
Like who?
Every team has one. Every team. One. Jaylen Brown is a 2. DeJounte Murray's a 2.
That's the elite.
DeJounte Murray.
Wow. I literally said, like, what'd you say?
Oh no, I was saying like that's like the elite standard of defending shooting.
Okay, that's Jaylen, but every team has a 1 or 2 who can play defense. Gabe Vincent can play defense.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Dude,
that's funny.
They can be simple defenders. Steph Curry's a bad defender. Like Curry can't defend, and neither can Chris Paul at his age now. Like he could when he was in his prime, but he's
okay. I guess. All
right. Speaking of can't defend,
like Drew Holiday too.
Safe.
He's pretty solid up top.
Yeah, I guess Drew Holiday. Yeah.
It's not many.
Sixers. Who's on the Sixers? Who starts with the Sixers?
Maxey.
Maxey.
Who's your
Shake Milton? Are you talking about Melton?
Yeah, Melton. Like they have that.
I mean, he can play defense, but like he's off the bench.
Speaking about our Sixers, though, we'll definitely have to talk about it. Like, let's mention it, right? Y'all are getting rid of James Harden. Okay, another one of Embiid's running mates, another one of his guards. In the wind. Okay, how do you feel about that, Ian?
Honestly, when I saw it, I was kind of shocked. I did think he would sign back. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't want him back on a long-term deal. That's the one thing I didn't. So I feel like if we couldn't get him on a 1-year, 2-year deal, like I think we did make the right decision in trying to find a trade partner. But like, it really does matter who we get in this trade because I really do feel like we're gonna need like more shooting, more pieces that fit around Embiid. Like, because last year it was sad to watch that.
But what's the ideal trade that you're looking for as a Sixers fan? What exactly are you looking for realistically?
Realistically,
Realistically,
realistically, we got James Harden out of Ben Simmons. So anything is possible at this point. Anything is possible. What
definitely
I'm looking
not
for,
that black and white, but sure, okay.
what I'm looking for is Dame. Maybe even sign Kyrie as a free agent. Maybe trade for Jalen Brunson. Like, I don't know. The options are open.
You think the Knicks are letting Brunson go for Harden? No.
If we give them enough pieces, yes.
They're not doing that. And Brunson's dad is like on the Knicks staff. They're not.
I did forget that.
So cancel that. Cancel that one.
Yeah, that probably won't happen.
Lillard.
You can see the Lillard.
Bro, Dame, every offseason, Dame drops this stuff that he's trying to leave Portland, and then a few weeks later, nothing.
I don't want to hear any Damian Lillard news until it's confirmed. Like until I hear
until he says it.
Like that's when I'll take it serious because he's always on BS.
So who thinks Dame is sliding?
I hope so. Like I really hope so.
I hope he does too. He needs to get on a team that can actually compete because I mean they haven't been in contention like the last couple of years, and it's just kind of honestly just wasting his career, wasting his time. Like he's gonna still do his thing and put up major numbers like last year, but it doesn't mean anything if they can't even get into the playoffs. Like,
then what would you prefer as a landing destination for Dame? Like a Sixers team, a Heat team? They've mentioned Clippers are in talk; they're in play. And who do we think?
I would say definitely somebody with a superstar. He needs a good running mate, but I don't know.
So he said not the Heat,
probably not the Heat. Clippers might not be a bad fit.
he said it.
Honestly, I like the Clippers over the Heat. Honestly,
I'd rather Clippers than Heat too.
I think he could fit well with Kawhi. Him and Kawhi.
They're not like Kawhi's one of my favorite players, but like he has to be available, and I don't.
I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I don't think that he will be. So, honestly,
I mean, if he is though, like,
if he is, that win a ring, like they really would. Like Kawhi is, what Kawhi brings every year, Morgan. But
what are they doing? What are the Clippers doing with Westbrook?
That's a great question.
I heard they might bring him back. I
heard he's going to Philly.
You did not hear that, Morgan. Stop that, please.
That'd be hilarious.
If they hold on to Westbrook, I would say definitely not. But if Westbrook hits free agency, then I think that'd be a good spot for him.
Yeah.
I have a Sixers question, Ian. If this James Harden trade goes poorly, do you think Joel Embiid is out? Like, do you think Joel Embiid is so pissed that he requests to trade out? Like, because that relationship seems to be going downhill. The more like y'all lose, the more you don't even make the conference finals. Like, I feel like Joel's going to be ready to go. So.
You're definitely right. Like, even after last season, I honestly thought he was gone. Like, I was so blown. Like, I thought like he didn't want to be a part of this organization anymore. But like when the press conference started, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be back next year." I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe he still believes." But I don't know. It's definitely getting a little shaky with the Harden stuff. So like if we don't get a good trade out of the Harden thing, I don't know. I think Daryl Morey, he's always in contention to make like the roster like finals contender. So I don't know. If it does get to a really bad point, I do think Joel might leave, but I think that Daryl Morey will probably keep the ship afloat.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, in all seriousness, this is what I've heard. This is just what I've heard. This is just what I've seen. You know what I mean? The Knicks, they're monitoring your situation with Joel Embiid as we speak.
Please stop it. Just stop it. I'm going to leave. If you said the Knicks.
The Knicks? I'm just saying, they're monitoring the situation
between
your franchise and the former MVP, Joel Embiid.
People are doing that with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's not leaving the Bucks. Like, that dude's a Buck forever. Joel literally might be a
What are we talking about though? If they lose, like the scenario is they lose Chris Middleton, they lose Brook Lopez. Okay, Giannis has to look around. He has to smell the roses at some point. Therefore, people are monitoring that situation, just seeing what's gonna happen, what's gonna transpire.
Yeah, I mean, you can monitor all you want, but like, is there gonna be like any real like movement? No, like Joel's
But
not
we're
going to New
worried
York.
about you though. Is the point of all this though? Is what I'm trying to say. We're worried about you because again, the way this thing is trending, I've heard talks about y'all may try and go after a Zach LaVine. They're keeping the phones open or whatever.
I've heard
That
that.
doesn't move the needle for you.
I
So
mean,
we're
okay,
worried.
listen. Even if we don't get, even if we get Zach LaVine in a trade, we still have to remember there are a lot of free agents up there. We got Van Vliet, we got Kyrie.
You're not getting all that, bro. You're not getting all
We're
that.
not. We can't afford them. Like obviously, we'll have to like trade Tobias, which we get a lot more compensation, a lot more draft picks, whatever, bench players. But I think if we, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. I know. You got the hand on the head. That boy got the hand on the head. He looks stressed. He looks stressed.
I'm not worried about the future, man. I'm not.
I'm not a Philly fan, but I definitely am worried. And I'm just worried. What did the Sixers get Kyrie? Because we got to start talking about Kyrie a little bit. There have been talks about, he may sign back with the Mavs, but he's meeting with these other teams, so nobody knows. So what about Kyrie? Does that move the needle for the Sixers?
Yeah, I think. I don't know if they'll win a ring, but they'll definitely be better off than with Harden. Like Kyrie's going to perform in the playoffs. We know that, and he actually may be their best playoff performer, like even over Joel. And that's not a bad thing. Like if you have Kyrie and Joel, like it's a stout 1-2 punch. So I think they'll be smooth in the East. Actually, like I would take them if they filled out the roster. I'll probably take them over everyone but the Celtics because I don't think the Bucks are going to be able to bring back their surrounding pieces. Like I don't think they'll be able to get Brooke back, honestly. But we'll see.
I asked our guest. So Kyrie lands on the Sixers team. Can they get out the second round of the East? Let's start there.
Yeah. I think, like Julian said, I think they'll probably be better off with Kyrie than James Harden. I just feel like Kyrie. I mean, he just like from the naked eye looking at the game, he just is more. He just does more on the court. I feel like he'll take that little attention off of Embiid that he kind of needs. Because I actually did follow the Sixers a little bit, and like literally every time Embiid, especially in the playoffs, when he got the ball, he was just getting swarmed, and Harden he couldn't really make a shot. So I think Kyrie's definitely more active around the court, and he'll probably create some more space on the floor for Embiid.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think Kyrie, like, he's more of a scorer than Harden is right now. Like, Harden's more of a pass-first player right now.
Yeah.
Like, he even led the league in assists. Like, I think Kyrie's that more, like, dominant player you have to worry about. And I think that's going to help Joel.
It definitely was. Like, you can't disappear in the fourth of every game. Like, James Harden was disappearing in the playoffs.
He was on his Ben Simmons
game.
He had
every other game.
He had less points in the fourth than Ben Simmons did in the playoffs. Like,
literally,
that's insane. So I don't think you can get really any worse than that. Like I know he's a good passer and stuff, but like Kyrie also can give you 30. So I'll take the 30 over the possible James Harden disappearing in the fourth. So.
No, Harden's floor is one of the worst like in the league. Like it's insane. He'll go like 3 for 12. Maybe like 8 assists,
multiple turnovers.
Yeah, but he got at least 5 turnovers. It's just like it's so up and down. Like he could go off for like 40 one game, but then the next game have like 12 points with like 10 assists and 8 turnovers. Like it's just Kyrie's consistency is there with the point scoring on the offensive end, like productivity wise, I'd say.
Here's the only reason why I'm torn with all of this that y'all are saying, really. Okay, so we're kind of judging Kyrie and James Harden right now. Like this is the player comp that we're going with. But y'all know me, I'm more about the full body of work. Okay, so Ian, why don't you tell us where the Sixers landed at the end of the year, at the end of the regular season? What place were y'all in the East?
I am. What were we? 4th, 5th,
3rd or 4th?
4th or 5th. Come on, man.
Third or fourth.
Definitely Definitely third, actually.
I don't remember. Like, I didn't care about that. Like, it
Yeah,
definitely did not care.
it matters. It definitely matters because you had one of the best regular seasons that you did in ages. Regardless of what happened in the playoffs, like Harden and Embiid, they were that duo. Embiid, he really fed off of that passing, ultimately helped him get that MVP trophy that he's been looking for. You know what I'm saying? James Harden made Embiid a little bit better this year. I digress. Now, my only pushback on what I'm saying is the fact that Kyrie and KD, we remember during the year, they're at the top of the East. You know what I mean? So Kyrie is definitely a dynamic player that can win you basketball games. I understand it all. But when you have a dominant big man like that, you need somebody that can pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's my only point that I'm trying to make, Julian. Look at this dude tilting his head, bro. It's just no respect at all. So I sit here and listen to his tape. It's just the lack of respect is what gets me. But
I don't want to hear it. I don't. Like,
we're talking about a dude that, what was it, like 22 and 11, led the league in assist average. Like, James Harden can play. I don't know. I don't know if Kyrie's 27 is better than what James Harden is going to give you.
I agree with that to a certain point, maybe like in the regular season, because like it's not as much pressure to like score. So James Harden was really just passing the whole time in the regular season. But when he was asked to score in the playoffs, he did, but he also didn't at times that we really, really needed him to. So when we look at Kyrie, like, he's a way better scorer than Harden is right now. Let's just be honest. Like, he's gonna give you a 40-point game. He's not gonna give you a 12-point game though. 1 for 12, 0 in the fourth. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that.
No, he doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah, like I feel like he's just a positive in almost every aspect outside of passing. Like, he's more efficient. Like, he's more clutch. He's gonna compete harder. Like, it's just like I feel like it's just a plus in pretty much every category. So I don't get it. I know that you don't like Kyrie Morgan. So like there is a hidden agenda under this take. Like, I know there's a hidden agenda. That's why I had to lean my head to the side because I just knew where this was coming from. But like we have to be real though. We have to be real though. Like,
let me ask you something though. Let me ask you something. So if I don't like Kyrie, do I like James Harden?
You like Harden more than you like Kyrie.
That's an interesting take. That's a very, very interesting take from you. I don't know about that one.
Now, trading off Harden and Kyrie, do y'all see potentially, because Kyrie's had some off the court issues a lot over the past few years. Is he honestly like a reliable superstar to get, with all those issues going on? Because you never know. Like with the Nets, he missed so much time because of the vaccine, like all that type of stuff. Is that what you're getting with Kyrie?
That's like the biggest question. Like, I don't question what Kyrie's going to give me in the playoffs on the court. Like, I don't think that it's possible for James Harden and Joel to win, no matter what. Like, I don't think that James Harden and Joel can win together unless, like, I don't know, they have to bring in another star, like a superstar. I would say if Kyrie is there and playing, he will play well, I would say. You can possibly win with that duo, and I don't think that you can win with Harden and Joel. So I would trade off like the possible off the court stuff for Kyrie because of the possibility of them winning.
James Harden is no better off the court. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
He's going to play though.
Like Houston. If he does like Houston,
exactly. Like his jersey crazy hung up somewhere at a Houston Cup. I was scrolling through TikTok. I saw him get like a Louis suitcase with racks from Lil Baby. You know what I mean? Like he's just like he's on a different level. Like I don't know if we can really account the off the court measures when we're discussing this one. I don't know.
I mean, he's gonna play though. I think that was the point. Like Harden's gonna play like most of the games.
Yeah,
that's true. Kyrie may not.
That's true.
Like that is one big thing I fear. Like if Kyrie came to the Sixers, like just the off the court, like unreliable.
And he wants a long-term deal as well, is what I hear.
And he always wants to trade out, which is the crazy thing. Like So I don't know if it's worth it.
That's why. That's definitely why. But last team I want to touch on, we mentioned them a little bit. So we saw Porzingis go from the Wizards to the Celtics. Everybody's saying the Celtics are going to be the favorites again, in the East. We saw how that worked out for them last year. It ended very poorly. But what does Porzingis do for that duo of Brown and Tatum? What do y'all think?
You can start.
Go ahead, Julian.
I don't know. I don't know if he like moves the needle for them. Like, I think they get maybe a little bit better because like now they have a paint presence. Like Porzingis like 7'3" or whatever, and like they have a possible guy who they can go to in the post if they need to. But I don't think he'll play that role for them. Like, I don't think he'll play that for them at all. But I mean, they have it. I'm saying, like, if they need to go there, but I don't see it going anywhere further than it did this year. Like, they'll be contenders, but not much better.
Well, I mean, as they're constructed right now, they still may make moves. They tried to trade Brogdon, but it'd be Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, maybe put Porzingis at that 4 spot, and then big Rob Williams down there. What does that look like, Dylan?
Now, did they get rid of Al Horford, or is he just going to come off the bench? What are they
I
going to do?
think I don't know what they'll do with Al Horford. If I were them, I'd put him off the bench.
Yeah, because he's definitely a solid piece for them. Just like super reliable big man. He's gonna make a few threes, maybe a game. Yeah, I don't really think that makes them any more of a contender than they already are. Adding Porzingis, I mean, but like every time you add a superstar to a team like that, it's just gonna take more pressure off of the superstars who are already there. So Tatum and Brown won't have to do as much as they have been, but they'll just have like another solid option.
It's definitely interesting that you guys are saying that it may not move the needle that much. We're talking about a 20 plus per game score. He's going to rebound the ball at a high rate. He's going to defend the rim at a high rate as well. Talking about a 3-level score, he'll knock down the 3. This is the Julian. He's definitely not posting up for that team. Like, we could just go ahead and take that out of the equation. Like, he's going to be playing like a guard, a unicorn. He's gonna do something for that team. And I mean, they're gonna have to come back and play Philly in a 7-game series, most likely. What does that look like?
I was definitely sick when I seen the trade. Like, I couldn't believe it, honestly. Like, that's really the one piece they needed, was like a solidified, like, all-star caliber center. Like, just someone to rebound, someone to protect the paint, someone really just to guard Joel, really.
Low key, I was doing good on Joel though.
He was, but he's just getting old. So I do think So to Morgan's point, I think it does like it elongs like the Tatum and Brown duo. Like, you can keep that longer just together, just because you have another younger piece who can help them along that, help them to get to the finals, or I guess win the finals. But I think he does add defense, adds a pick and pop. He just adds a lot of new things to the offense, I feel like.
Yeah. He's also another player who can create shots for himself. And since he can do that, being 7'3", that'll draw a lot more attention. Like, to get maybe Tatum and Brown some more perimeter shots, just like spotting up and shooting, rather than them two were more the like shot creators on the team last year. Obviously, like, Brogdon was in there too, but he didn't. Like, they still, like, when the game is on the line, they still had the ball and they still had to take over. So,
do y'all think they're gonna miss Smart?
Yeah,
I think so.
As a spirit, maybe, like, as like that enforcer, like on defense, like maybe like, I don't know. I feel like he's like a Draymond type player. Like he might not be the best player, but he's like valuable to the team. Yeah, emotional.
PJ Tucker
leader. Yeah. But I think he's replaceable. I do think he's replaceable on the court. Like, maybe not like the energy, but like I think like you can replace him on defense and offense easily.
Well, like we're trying to talk about, it's not always about the, you know, skills and drills about these players. It's actually what they bring, to practice, the locker room, that sort of thing. So when we talk about the Celtics and Marcus Smart, I felt like he was one of the glue pieces that kept them from losing to the Hawks in the first round. I'll keep it like that. They had a new coach, inexperienced and being a head coach, especially in playoff situations. We saw that come up time and time again in some of the decision making, some of the perceived locker room issues, whatever during the playoffs. Like I feel like Marcus Smart was one of those guys, all reliable, that helped them on and off the court to make the run that they did run. Um, you know, I, they're definitely gonna miss him. They're definitely gonna miss him. That's my only point with that. They're definitely gonna miss him. Um, and I don't think he'll be easily replaced either. Um, I had another point, man. Forgot it though. Forgot it.
Did y'all
Might have been.
did
Go
y'all
ahead.
see those pictures of Cade Cunningham recently?
Oh yeah. Was that
Bro,
real? Was that real? Like that was
that
insane.
was real, bro.
He
That
looks
was
like a
There's
real.
no
caveman.
man.
I hope he's
That was
not.
not
I
a
hope he's
real picture.
okay. I hope he's
There's
okay.
no way.
Like he looks like a complete caveman. Like it's
I really
actually
hope that's not real, but
It definitely looks real. It looks
that,
it
I
real.
looked
mean,
Like
very real. Like that
those are
looked like
posted on like major sports outlets.
yeah. That's I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. He's probably not okay if like that's what he looks like right now. Like, there's like something's going
he
on.
has time to lose weight. He has time. Zion and Harden
Yes,
did it like every year or every
he
offseason.
has time, but it's just like, why does he look like that? Like even he just looks unhinged. Like not even the
Yeah.
weight, but just like
Unhinged.
he has all that like hair and
Yeah, that's serious.
I mean, Ian mentioned Zion, so we'll ask our guests. There's been talks about Zion, actually getting traded away from the Pelicans. Like, do you think that would be a smart move for them? Depending on what they could get in return, of course. But should they move on from Zion?
I really don't think they should. I think it's too early. Obviously, he's had some trouble staying on the court, but there were some flashes in the regular season when he was healthy, and that chemistry that they had with the team was. I mean, weren't they first in the West for a few like a week or two? Like
Yeah.
there were
Yeah.
some flashes in there, like the potential that their team could be. So, and I think they know that. So I don't think they're going to move on from him yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Don't think so either.
they'll
All
be
right,
dumb to, in
fellas.
my opinion. That'd be
Yeah,
dumb.
probably.
They can get so much in for him though in return, I feel like even though his value is lower right now, I still think they could get a good amount where they'd still be a good team.
Yeah,
They could get a lot.
yeah.
They definitely could get a lot. Um, just came to mind. Last things, I guess. Victor Wembanyama. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk, a lot of hype around his name. Do you think he's gonna live up to the hype?
It's tough for me to say yes. Um, Obviously, he's like literally everything you're looking for in a player, like tall, can shoot, can move. But I just every time I think of him, I just imagine like what happens when he has to go up against an Embiid or Giannis, where they're just gonna literally run over him. With is what from what it seems like. Um, but I'm here to see. It's obviously not out of the question that he could be a superstar. Like they're comparing him to LeBron as like one of the best recruits ever. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to those matchups when he has to go against like a power big like that, just to see how he's going to handle it.
See, we always jump to the Embiids and the Giannis's, but my thing is Chet Holmgren. He came out with a lot of hype surrounding his name. They said a lot of different things about what he was going to be. First year. I'm talking about first year and whatever. LeBron rolled over his ankle or whatever. This
And
dude was out the
yeah,
entire season. Like he was out the
yeah, and
whole
just like
year.
in a pickup game too. Like they're not even
Exactly.
going for real. They're just out there playing. Like
Yeah, like just 55% of LeBron was enough to like
knock him out for the year.
out of there. Like I'm interested to see what he comes back and does, but
Now,
that's something you worry about.
yeah, I did make that point, but looking at Giannis when he came into the year, he or into the league, my bad. He looked pretty similar. He's very like tall and linky, and
Right.
now like a good way into his career. He's put on a lot of muscle, so I
Right.
can see that with him as well.
Definitely a matter of time. He's what, 18, 19 anyway. So, he's got a lot of time to grow into whatever people think, he's going to be. It's too early for us to tell, of course. So I'll just leave it at that. Anything else, guys?
Dylan, I got a question about the Texans. How do you feel about you're a Texans fan, right?
I'm a Saints fan, so
Saints fan. I keep
Oh,
forgetting that. Yeah, I
but-
knew that. I knew
but
that.
I follow. I like the Texans too. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Texans.
All right, let me ask you this then. How do you feel about Derek Carr coming to the Saints? Do you think he'll be able to take you to the playoffs? Maybe even like a deep run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like every year we have the talent, we have the defense, which is like really, really like top notch. But past 3 years, it's just been the quarterback issues. Like you got a rotation with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton, and you see flashes in there of them performing, but it's just not consistent enough. And I feel like Derek Carr came off of one of his better years in his career last year with the Raiders. And if we can get Michael Thomas back ever, then maybe it don't look like he's ever back.
Last year, y'all even looked pretty good, even with Dalton. Like he was a good sign. I think he'll be.
Falcons are winning the division, bro.
Are they? They might not even come third.
Buddy, they're winning the division.
Yeah.
We're taking the division this year. I'm trying to let y'all know. All right.
It's going Saints, Panthers.
No.
Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Panthers second.
Bryce Young.
No, I'm a Young fan, but the Panthers are terrible. Like that's a terrible roster. That's a bad roster.
It's not a terrible roster.
They traded away Moore, okay, to get Bryce. They traded away DJ Moore, so now his best receiver is Adam Thielen. That's not going to cut it. Not anymore. Thielen's old.
He has weapons.
They have Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, Terrace Marshall. That's also not going to cut it. Like
he was good last year. Terrace Marshall was good.
Okay, he was a mid rookie. Like
I mean,
rookie last year
I think he was. Yeah,
he was still mid.
He was a
rookie. Mid is the point. Like very mid. So, like I'm saying, that Panthers roster is not going to cut it. The Falcons have a good roster. Yeah, I said, all right. I'll let y'all.
We'll definitely clip it.
I'll definitely let y'all sleep on this. Like,
I mean, they got Chuba Hubbard. He's solid.
They like the roster
and Booby.
Is real cute.
Booby Sanders.
Miles Sanders too. That's right.
Hey, that's all cute. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
When Atlanta comes to town, we're rolling over all of y'all. We're not going to stop the run game. We're not stopping the run game this year. Two-headed monster at running back.
Didn't they sign DJ Chark too?
Yeah, they did sign DJ Chark.
Right?
Yeah, like they have a roster.
They have a roster.
Oh, that like those are complimentary players. They don't have any stars. Like no stars.
You don't always need stars though. The teams
we have better players than them. Like, okay, outside of our quarterback, which is that's really the question mark for us. Like, will Ritter be competent? We just need competency. He has to be okay.
Wait, is Bijan better than? Is he better than Miles Sanders?
I don't know. Bijan's a rookie. Like,
I think
that's one of the position players.
Yeah. Bro, we have Bijan and we have Tyler Algier though, who just rushed for 1,000 last year as a rookie.
Bro, don't try Booby Sanders. Don't try Booby Sanders.
I'm just saying we already have 1,000-yard rusher.
You can't take them over Miles Sanders right now though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's fair. But okay,
and Adam Thielen.
We had a better running game than them last year, and our running game got better because we drafted Bijan. We have a top 3 running game, and it got better. Then Kyle Pitts is coming back. We know what Kyle Pitts is. Drake London was 5 last year as a rookie, much better than Terrence Marshall. Then who do we get? Oh, we got Jonnu Smith to play tight end. So Kyle Pitts is really playing receiver with London, and then that white boy from Tampa, Scotty Miller. He'll be in the slot.
Miller.
Yes, Scotty Miller's in the slot. Like that's actually a smooth out lineup.
Your offense is tough.
Like
Y'all's
that's a smooth
offense is
lineup. And the O-line,
crazy.
What
they
about
move.
is Calvin really still on the team?
Nah, he's on the
He's on the
he's on the
Jags.
Jags. He's on the
That's
Jags.
right. That's right. The Jags. That's right. I forgot about that.
If we had Calvin, it would be up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
All these NFL players and the gambling scandals, man.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
they released the players
This is
like who
true.
got suspended yet? I heard about that.
No, they just said Isaiah Rodgers. That's all I
Yeah.
heard.
That's
But
what I
Yeah. Hey man, he won his bet though, like, or at least one of them.
yeah, there's ESPN announcement that said Draymond and Jeremy Grant are expected to stay with their teams.
Dang.
Dang.
So, I mean, yeah, Draymond's not. That's not surprising. But
The Lakers are
But-
offering Reeves $52 million
He's not taking it. He's not taking it.
for 4
I mean,
years.
the Spurs can match is the thing. Like we're gonna have to pay Reeves if we want to keep him.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
probably
4 years,
4 years,
52
$52
mil.
million. He's probably-
That's disrespectful.
you think he needs more?
Yeah, I think he needs at least 70 mil. Like
Or what?
Look at
he was promised 100 mil. I'm pretty sure. Like Lakers promised him
who?
100 mil.
No, we
Lakers
didn't.
promised.
Bro, we
No,
can't
did
pay
it?
him $100 million, 25 a year for
I
wait
think
for how
that
many?
was
For
it.
5 or for
I think-
4?
I don't know how many years. I think it was for 4, but I don't know.
I don't even want that. He can go if he needs 25
Yeah.
a year. He can go. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
you
But
can do
he's
a
only
lot
getting
with that
better.
money.
You're paying
But it's
for his
about to heat
ceiling,
up right
not
now.
Yeah. That's true.
It's gonna be good. I'm
Do y'all
definitely.
think? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, y'all think the what's it called? The Grizzlies with Ja Morant missing the first, what was it, 25 games or so? You think they can stay towards the middle enough to where when he comes back, they can, get back into the top 5 in the West?
I think so.
I think. Go ahead.
I think Marcus Smart. Like I think people are underrating. Like we talked about. Like he brings like a whole different culture to a team. Like with Dylan Brooks out and like that whole situation, I think like he definitely feels that spot that they needed for like a top dog, like someone to like rile up the other team's
Stir the
best
pot.
player.
Yeah.
Stir the pot. Yeah. So I think that is a great fit. I don't know if they're going to win a bunch of games with him, but I think, like Dylan said, I think they'll stay afloat.
So, you add Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies. Now you're talking about a team with 2 defensive players of the year in recent years, and him and Trip J. Okay. We know Desmond Bain, he's a killer. You know what I'm saying? I told them that he could probably average 25 to 26 points with Ja Morant out of the equation. He's that type of player. He can shoot the 3 ball. He could drive for his size. He's a very good player. And they actually have their role players, guys like Brandon Clark, I think will come back. We'll see about that. They have guys like Steven Adams they were missing in that playoff run. And some other bench guys. They don't have Tyus Jones anymore, but they have some other bench guys on that team that can play. So I don't expect them to miss a beat, honestly. I don't see them getting out of the playoff picture by any means. Lowest they drop to me is probably 7 at that point. That's just me.
I think it'll be too late though. Like by the time Ja comes back and is like in form, like I think that it might be too late for them to jump back into that like top 3, 4 areas, which I think is too late for the season. Like
There's still a lot of teams that are like very powerful that are gonna be at the top, and then
that's what I'm saying.
there's also teams that were below them that are getting better in the offseason that you can't really rule out yet.
Right.
It'll be tough for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have guys that I think can play the underdog, that can play the villain. And I wouldn't count them out even if they were a lower seed, to be honest. I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I would say they got better though. They got better when Ja's inserted back into that lineup. Like with Ja in the lineup, like they're gonna be tough to beat. Ja and Smart in the backcourt, that's tough.
Exactly. Like it's very tough.
And I mean,
I don't know.
whenever Ja was out last year, they were still winning games. But it's just different though when it's in the middle of the season and you're already going versus just completely starting a new season over with new pieces. Like
Yeah.
You got to figure stuff out. You don't know who to look to, to be your superstar on the team. Obviously, like Jaren Jackson Jr. probably will be that guy for them, but in terms of like ball handling, you don't really know who's going to run the point.
That's true.
It'll be interesting. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Approaching an hour here. Dylan, thanks again for being on the show, man. We appreciated it. For real, got some good insight into your career and some of the takes you have about Houston sports. I apologize for that, by the way. I really do gotta apologize for that. But yeah, so everybody make sure y'all follow us at Take 5 Pod, at Take V Pod for daily content, and we're also live on Saturdays. All right, we out.
Appreciate y'all.